I'm Patrick Hoban with The Growth Seat. For today's podcast, I thought I would talk about one of my favorite, or another one of my favorite leaders who didn't try to be a leader. This is someone who truly was the epitome of a servant leader and someone who I have wanted to and tried to guide a lot of my leadership life based off of. It is Mother Teresa, now Saint Teresa. Mother Teresa, I'll give you just a quick bio here that I'll read for you. She was a Catholic nun and a humanitarian who I love because her life became a testament to radical love and selfless service. How cool is that? I agree with the idea of radical love and selfless service. What's really neat is that it struck her when she was on a train in India and she got a call within a call where basically the Lord called her to dedicate her life to serving the orphans and the poorest of the poor in Calcutta. And from there in 1950, she founded the Missionaries of Charity organization, which is huge now. Thousands of people around the world, hundreds of different missionaries and schools and things. And this was a 5'2" lady who had no training of any kind, who decided to dedicate her life towards something. And that something was just service. And I think that what is interesting for me, why I look at this, her life, and this story is something that I want to use as a guide, is that all of us, you, me, Mother Teresa, Saint Teresa, can change the world. We can make the world a better place. The question is it our focus? Is it something where we'll dedicate our lives toward trying to have impact? And that's something that I have had as a focus for a long time, is this idea of impact. What is the impact that I'm having on my family? What's the impact that I'm having specifically with my wife, with my kids? What's the impact I'm having as a leader? What's the impact I'm having as a friend? And if I can make sure that I live my life in such a way, I'll never do what Mother Teresa did, but I hope that I can use her as a role model, as a guide, as someone who is an inspiration for me to try to be more like her, to try to make sure that I recognize that leadership has nothing to do with position or title. For you and me, what we have to do is just seek out small ways that we can have great impact. And she has a great quote that's attributed to her that says, "I cannot do great things, but I can do small things with great love." And that's what I want to do with my life. I want to do as many small things, medium-sized things, maybe someday great things with love that I can. And you might sit there and say, "Oh, well, love shouldn't be in business. Love shouldn't be, wherever." I think that love is what's going to save our world. I think that love is the most powerful thing that we have in our lives. And when we have great love in our lives, then we are able to do great things with our lives. Conversely, we all see people who don't have love, who haven't gotten love in their life. And there's something missing from their life. Oftentimes there's a hole inside that they're trying to fill with money or possessions or as many friends as possible or as many likes on social media as possible, because they don't feel like they're enough, because they never got that love right off the bat. So as a person, as a leader, a goal that we can have is loving. And I want to love with accountability. I want to love with responsibility. I don't want to just say, "Oh, I'm going to love everyone and everything's going to be perfect in the whole world and everything's going to be, pink sky." That's not what I'm saying. I want to have high expectations of myself, of my marriage, of myself as a parent, in the different parts of my life, I want to have high expectations. But I want to match those high expectations with high support of those around me, high love of those around me, and hopefully a sense that I can instill a love of people for each other, for themselves specifically, and for what they do. You know, I, I've been so lucky, so blessed to start multiple companies, to run multiple companies. And one of the things that, I said in one of the companies is that I want you to love what you do. I want you to love who you work with. And I want you to love the company you work for. And I don't want like, all right? Like for me is blah. you know, I want you to love what you do because everyone can tell if you do that. Everyone can tell when you love what you do. I want to hire the right people so that you love the people you work with. I want you to have a best friend at work. I also love that in one of the companies that I worked for, we had multiple clinics and we had, I don't know, three or four people that got married in the company. And that to me is perfect. That to me is, I was able to find people who had similar values. I was able to find people who were the right type of people. And when I was able to get them within the same organization, they found each other. They saw the specialness that I saw in them, in each other, and then they decided to spend the rest of their lives together. That to me is, again, a testament. That to me, I hope I've learned from Mother Teresa. That is something where if you want to have impact in your life, if you want to have impact at work, where you are guiding people in such a way that they love working for you, right? I joke around, I want to give so much and serve my people so well that they'll step in front of a bus for me, and I'll do the same for them. And I want them to know first that I'll step in front of a bus for them because I care about them so much. And if we create a culture at home, if we create a culture at work that's based on love, that's based off of service, that's based off of my family knows that I would always do everything I can to serve them. That people at work know that I will always do everything I can to serve them at work. I hope and I think that it will reciprocate, that my family knows that I will help them, serve them, love them, and because of that, they'll help me, serve me, love me. And it's my job to do it first. Mother Teresa went into these slums in Calcutta, and she just basically picked up these, orphaned kids and took them to this home where she fed them and loved them. And they gave these kids something that they didn't have out on the streets: a sense of tribe, a sense of place, and a sense where they would be surrounded by people who would love them just because, right? Not because of them being in a certain family, not because of them having a certain amount of money, not because the fact that they deserved it for any reason. Mother Teresa believed that they deserved it because they were born, because God brought them onto this earth. And I want to make sure that I try to create a culture around me, everywhere around me, where people know how much I love them. I've been very blessed to, I do film and a little bit of coaching with some high school kids. And one of the things that I've been so blessed with is that the coaches have asked me to do some leadership talks with them and different things. And I will, have relationships with these kids, these boys, where we'll see each other and just hug each other. And I love the fact that they know how much I care about them. I know how much they care about me, and we're willing to just share that. And that's what it's all about. It's all about making sure that we show and tell the people around us that we care about them, right? That we will help them in whichever way that we can. And what's important, you don't have to have a lot of money, right? You don't have to have a lot of time. I want to give of myself. And I'll tell you that something that is desperately needed out there is for people to know that they are loved, for people to know that they are cared about. And if you can show the people around you how much you love them, how much you care about them, both with your words and your actions, you'll build relationships and friendships that will last years. So, if you're going to use someone like Mother Teresa, Saint Teresa, as a role model, as I try to, make sure that you understand where this stuff comes from. Mother Teresa, her love came from her faith. And by the way, you don't have to have faith. It's, you do you. You know, I I I work at having deep faith. She had amazing faith. But even with that, if you do much reading with it, it's really sad because she was depressed for a lot of her life. So she struggled. She had crosses to bear. And even though she was giving and giving and giving, she had a sadness inside. But what I believe is that when she was done with her life, with this world, and she went on to the next place, I believe that all of that darkness would be gone. That the impact, the difference that she made in the lives of so many thousands and millions of kids, of people, that will come back around. And not to mix religious philosophies, I believe in karma. And I believe that the good that we put out into the world will come back to us. And I don't believe that I deserve anything, by the way. I don't think that Mother Teresa believed that she deserved anything. She just wanted to serve. She just wanted to give. And for me, I hope that I will give and I will serve anywhere in the same direction as what she did. I just don't ever want to compare myself to Mother Teresa because it's here and then I'm way down here, you know. But I hope that I can learn from her, that I can grow from her example. And I hope that other people will see how loving and generous that I am and that they will try to be the same. I hope that the way that I live my life from how I've learned from Mother Teresa and the amazing servant leader, the amazing person she was, I hope that I can live my life in such a way that other people will see glimmers of her through me. And I hope that people will see that I live my faith, in what I do every day and how much I give every day and how much I love every day. Because I really do believe that the more that we love in this world, the more beautiful that this world will be, the more special and hopefully healing that this world will be. Because, of course, there's lots of bad out there. I don't really want to focus on the bad. I want to create so much good that it will balance out whatever else is out there. So, as a person, as a leader, my challenge for you is to find people who you want to follow, to find people like Mother Teresa, that you can look at their life and decide that you want to live your life similar to that. And if you can find people in your life that you really use as these deep, wonderful, beautiful role models, it helps to guide how you'll be and who you'll be. And the more people that we have, like Martin Luther King, like Mother Teresa, like Abraham Lincoln, like all these wonderful people who made a difference in the world in who they were and how they acted, the world will be a better place. So with the growth seat, what we're always trying to do is to learn and grow. What I hope that you'll get from this podcast is the challenge to find someone who you want to live your life like. If you ever want to have any help with group coaching or individual coaching, just know that I'm always happy to help you. I'd love to help you find someone or to live your life in such a way that you are really you're having the impact that you want to have. So if you ever need any help, make sure and just click on the link that's going to follow, and I'll be happy to help you. All right, take care.